今日は私のパパを紹介します。
I'm Sugar Daddy.
Yes, you're my sugar.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. 今日は私のパパを紹介します。っていうのはもちろん冗談で、日本人女性が若くして成功するのを見ると、もうお金のない男性たちの妬みがすごくて、どうせパパ活なんだろうとか、おじさん相手にしてるんだろうとかってそういうコメントが来ても本当にびっくりで、その女性って男性の力を借りないと成功しないのって。そういう風に思ってるのがやっぱりちょっと悲しくて。なんで女性は自分の力でもしっかりと成功することができます。で、今日はその私のパパを紹介したいと思ってるので、実際に結構多くの方から結婚してますかとか、旦那さんどんな仕事してますかとか、そういう質問をよくいただいてるので、今日は旦那初登場ということで、彼にちょっと自己紹介をしてもらいたいと思います。Okay, so without a further ado, I think you can give an introduction to my community.
So yeah, 皆さんこんにちは。私はベナルドさん。I guess I'm the mysterious man that you maybe saw a few times in one of Amy's reels or so on. Yeah, so we met like 5 years ago in Dubai. We're married by now actually. Never thought actually that I would find my wife in Dubai. It's not really the number one place I feel like to for something like this, but well, life happens in mysterious ways. So yeah, let's give a brief introduction about myself. So I'm originally from Austria. I'm 31 years old, and yeah, I'm now, I think, about since 14 years. It's since I started my first business when I was 17, basically. So while I was still in high school, I started in sales. That kind of flip the switch inside of me, open up, right, and feel like, okay, what do I want to do in my life? Then after working in sales for about 3.5 years, I got introduced to the world of crypto actually, and Bitcoin and so on. So this was back in 2015. So this is when I first basically invested into cryptocurrency. At that time, I'm not coming from a rich family. I had a single-raised mom actually that raised me, and she saved for like 18 years. So I had about $5,000, and that was my starting capital, so you could say. To be honest, I didn't really understand it, right? I had my best friend with me who is still working with me in the world of crypto up to this day. And has more of a technical background, and he was like, this is good, like we should risk it, and I was like, okay, well, let's go for it, right? And my mom wanted me to buy some furniture for my first apartment at that time, but I was like, you know what, let's better invest that money. Fast forward, right? It was obviously a great decision, but at that time it was a risk, right? And I feel like that's what it is sometimes about in life. You just have to take a risk, right? Because if you never take a risk, then you're only gonna get that far, right? And all the people that you see here in Dubai, maybe right now it's a little bit less to the whole situation, but almost everybody that you meet here that is like extremely successful, they took risks along the way, right?
That's true. Everybody around us, yeah. Everybody who's successful that you meet, everybody took risk.
Yeah.
Some sort of risk, yeah.
Whether it's crypto or real estate or any other sort of business, right? Every business comes with a risk. I made money. I invested that money again into crypto. That obviously was a tremendous leverage, right? So I think most important is really to have a business that produces cash flow, because crypto is very volatile, right? You can be a millionaire one day and then you can be worth 50% less the next day. So I think it's very important for stability that you have either a job that creates stable income, or you have a side business or a main business basically. That obviously carries the lifestyle, and then basically you as well have enough money that you can comfortably invest. And I think this is something that I definitely learned along the way, because in my first bull run back in 2017, I stopped working basically because I made my first million at 22, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I'm a millionaire now. I made it, right? But $1 million these days is not so much money, right? If you are just spending and you just don't work all of a sudden, you will see that's gone pretty fast. Therefore, I think having a business that is creating cash flow and bringing in money every week, every month is really, really, really important. And I think another thing along the way, because Amy asked me to provide some value, to you guys today. And I think especially if you're starting out, you're gonna be judged, right? And you will face rejection, right? Especially from the people that are close to you. This can be your family, this can be your very close friends, right? Because all of a sudden you're doing something different, right? And change is uncomfortable also for other people, right? It's unusual, it's uncommon. And I faced that rejection as well, like from my mom, from my grandpa, right? When I was obviously a student, I didn't make much money in my first couple of years, right? And they see, oh, you're slacking off in school. So obviously they're gonna try and talk you out of it, right? And that's why I feel like the most important thing before you get started is that you define and really dig deep inside yourself as to why you're doing something. So defining this why is sort of like your engine. It's gonna fuel your business and fuel your motivation and keep you going as well when you face rejection. I think why a lot of people stop when they start a business is actually because of this rejection, actually,
Yeah,
right?
because everybody around them, like the family, friends, they're like, no, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't take this risk. What if you fail? You know, they're not trying to stop you from success, but because they love you, they care about you. That's why they don't want you to fail. So they stop you. But the problem is, in order to reach success, you have to go through some difficulties. You have to take the risk.
その通り。Yeah, so that's why this is probably one of the most important things, because when I had my why defined, actually, and that why shouldn't be something materialistic. I think it should be something really emotional that really keeps you going no matter what, because materialistic things, you will see it, you set yourself a materialistic goal, whatever, you buy a new watch, you buy
A Lambo.
or a car or
I'm
whatever,
so
right?
materialistic. I love materialistics.
100%, and that's great, but it's not the thing that will keep you going eventually, right? And I mean, when you buy yourself a new dress, for example, right? How long is this feeling of happiness lasting, or not that long, right?
Yeah.
But if it's something really deep, like whatever, retiring your parents, right? Because they have given you
Your
everything,
entire
right?
life,
For the past 20 years of your life or whatsoever. That is a much different anchor, I feel like. That's definitely something that I could maybe share along the way as to what was very, very important, especially when starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about other? What is one most important thing you would do if you can go back? You started business at the age of 17, and you made your first million by the age of around 20. So I feel like you're already faster than most of the people. But now that in the crypto space for over 10 years, and you've learned a lot along the way, if you can go back in time, what is one thing that you would do?
To be honest, I think one of the most important things, especially when I started, and I was very young. My mom is working as a normal saleswoman, right, in a store selling clothes, right? I didn't have an entrepreneur mindset from my home, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't learn about all these things in school. So I think one of the most important factors for me was really having a mentor right from the start that was teaching me, proning my mindset and working on that, because that obviously was the thing that kept me going and that opened me up as to what do I actually want to achieve, right?
It opens your eyes so much.
Exactly. And then I made the switch from sales into the crypto business and into the online world and into affiliate marketing. And as well at that time, I had a mentor actually back in the days. I mean, this is like 10 years ago. I also did YouTube faceless actually. The channel is not active anymore. But at that time, he told me, listen, do YouTube actually, because it's going to open you up to like a new audience and so on. And it was something I was really not comfortable doing. Well, but I still did it, right? And sometimes you have to do the uncomfortable thing. Yeah, that's just going to lead you to different places. That's maybe one thing. Yeah, I think what also translates here in terms of mentorship is what you're doing. And I mean, I'm not saying this because you're my wife, but because I see what you're doing every day and as well the response for your customers and what Amy is very talented in, and probably much more talented than me because I'm a long time in the crypto space. She has the gift to explain difficult things very, very simply and makes it easy to understand, right? And crypto is sometimes a bit abstract and sometimes a bit complicated, and it looks complex for people. So you need somebody that has the ability to make it digestible and teachable. And I think you're doing pretty well on that.
Aw, I'm so flattered. Well, guys, while we're giving this my husband introduction, we have arrived into the gym.
The sugar daddy introduction.
Yes. So yeah, well, thank you so much for watching, guys. And yeah, if you have any questions about him or about us or crypto, anything, just make sure to subscribe and then leave a comment because we'll check every single comment. So alrighty, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
またね。バイ。